Speed is getting a drift car. I spent the last couple months acting in a movie directed by Sung Kang called Drifter. On that set, I was surrounded by some of the most dedicated, obsessive, hardcore, recreational drifters. These guys are some of the best in the world at drifting for fun. And I gotta tell you guys, I got bit by the freaking bug. Maybe I'm going through a midlife crisis, or maybe I've wanted to learn to do something for a long time, but for some reason, I've been too afraid to take that first step. Well, that fear ends today. Life's too short. Okay, maybe it is a midlife crisis. When I was on set, I had a ton of conversations with some very cool and qualified dudes. I probably talked the most with this guy. Ilya, welcome to the garage.
Hello.
Ilya is my neighbor. He's also the co-founder of Final Bout, co-founder of IND Distribution, drift fundamentalist and historian, and the current frontrunner for my favorite new friend of 2025. Yeah, I give that award out every December. We've come up with a list of what we think are the 10 best drift car options for a guy like me. And one of these cars will be my first drift car. So let me know which one you guys think we should go with. First up, we're starting with the legend itself. The car that arguably started drift culture. The car with the deepest drifting lore. The Toyota AE86 Corolla. It has endured, forged, and still guides drift culture to this day. Whether it's the Drift King Kaiichi Tsuchiya, Initial D, or the dozens of iconic 80s and 90s JDM builds, the AE86 truly is the heart of drifting. It's a bit underpowered, but that's what gives it the aggressive driving style that it is known for. It is one of the most aggressive of all drift cars to drive, requiring full commitment and dedication to conserving momentum, making legendary drivers like Ueo so iconic. What are we looking for in like a good drift car?
What, in my opinion, we should be looking for is, first of all, price of the car. Parts availability is a second one. And then also the ability to style the car. And then I guess the final one really is how reliable or how fragile it is.
So 8.6, I think when a lot of people think of a drift car,
they think of an 8.6.
Mm-hmm.
I've driven a few, and it's some of the most fun I've ever had driving a car in my life. But they're pretty not friendly for a beginner. The car costs a bunch of money. On top of that, the repair parts, body parts, not to mention the mechanicals, any older car, you get a lot of parts hoarding. Getting parts is a pain in the ass.
Toyota A86, you can pick these up from like $10,000 to $25,000.
And that's for a beginner grade car, right?
Yeah.
Like when you look at perfect examples or really, really nice ones, they go upwards of like 50 and more.
So let's say I bought an 8.6 today. What should I do to it to go to the track?
And you've somehow found a stock GTS.
Yeah. I found the perfect one.
Step one, buy a lottery ticket because you are very fortunate. Weld the diff, seat and steering wheel, put some stiff suspension on it, and you're good to go.
Hell yeah. Up next are two cars that are essentially the same car, much like Ilya and his friend Nikita. They are the newest viable drift cars on this list, and they exist specifically because of the legacy of the AE86 and Initial D. I am talking about the Scion FRS and Subaru BRZ. The updated 2017 to 2020 cars are still pretty expensive, but the 2012 to 2015 models are getting below 10K. So what are the pros?
So the pros are it handles awesome. It does make enough power to drift. It's got air conditioning.
Yeah.
It's got a stereo. It's got a nice interior.
Yeah. That's one of the main reasons I would consider this car. It's pretty new. Like the interior is a pretty nice place to be.
Yeah.
Like AC, like racetracks, at least in California, are in the middle of the desert and they're like 120 degrees.
Yeah.
They're a reasonable starter car, but they do come with some caveats.
First, the car's pretty expensive still. The trans is a little weak. The axles tend to break even when they're NA. The engines don't have the best reputation. It's not necessarily a car that you can drift right out of the box mechanically.
I'm like in the middle of liking how these look or not.
You know, my beef with it from a style standpoint is just that it's kind of short. Like
I think that's it.
It's a little short wheelbase, but There's a few beautiful examples right here. The Machemann's one has a rotary in it.
That's sick. These are really sick looking.
Yeah, I mean, all of these cars are super beautiful, and so you could definitely see, like, you can make a really sick one if you want.
If we decide that we're going to get one of these, guy goes out, drops 15, 20K. What's he got to do to go out and enjoy it?
It's not much. Tons of my friends have driven these basically totally stock. But yeah, I mean, really, it's another one of those cars where it's like seat, steering wheel, coilovers, and you're pretty much good to go.
Actually, dude, like, I know that we're talking about why this one is so far down on the list. It wasn't a consideration until...
But now you're looking at them.
I'm looking at them like,
damn.
Honestly, dude, these are pretty sick.
If you've got a little bit more cash than like the average 19 or 20-year-old beginner...
Which, as a 40-year-old man, I do. Proud to report, I think I do.
If you qualify, then pick one up.
I'm starting to think that we ranked this one too low on the list. All right, next car. You guys are going to love this one. We all know the all-wheel drive monster GTR, but there are cheaper rear-wheel drive versions that make for great drift cars. We are talking, of course, about the Nissan Skyline. There are 3 generations, as you guys might know: R32, R33, and R34. The most popular for drifting is the R32 GTST. It was followed by the R33 GTST and the R34 GTT. They look so friggin' cool.
They do. For the sake of time, we're grouping R, A, and C chassis in one category.
R, what's A?
A is a Safiro, a Nissan Safiro. They really only came in like a relevant way to drifting in the A31.
I say, what's a C?
C. So C is C33 and C35 Laurel. C33 is the only sedan I've ever seen that comes with no B pillar.
That's so sick.
Like none at all. There's just like an A pillar and a C pillar, and between that is like one big convertible.
We're talking about parts availability. We're talking about mechanical parts availability. What happens if you like break something in the drivetrain or like around the car? But also with drifting specifically, it's body part availability.
Yep. So like the R chassis is probably the easiest one.
Because there's a lot of them over here.
They were more popular, right? But it's still pretty hard. A31's a little weird because it's used as a taxi cab in places like Thailand. So you can find A31 stuff on eBay. Like I used to have an A31, and the thing that I was always worried about when I drove it is really stuff like the windshield or like quarter panels or a B pillar, right? Like radiator support. How do you get any of that if you crash the car?
The one thing that Ilya talks about all the time that a lot of people don't think about is windshields. Where are you going to get a windshield for an A31? They never came here. So you know what you got to do? You got to get someone in Japan to put it on a freaking boat and ship it across the ocean. That is a big old piece of glass sitting on a boat for weeks. Good luck with that, Jack. I tell you what, good luck with that, Jack. Let's look at some of these fools. Dude, you know what? I think I'm recognizing a theme with this video. Every time we look at some,
you want one.
I'm going to be like, I want that one. That's the one I want. Dude, I like this one.
Yeah, this thing is sick. It's an R32. It's pretty simple. It's got BN on it, and it's got an Origin GT wing. Yeah, and then this is the famous C33. They don't have a B pillar, so if you see one with both windows down, it'll blow your mind.
I mean, dude, because of that, I really think that a Laurel is the car for me. So pros. A big body coupe or sedan drift car is very cool. This is the first sedans we've been looking at.
Yep.
Nissan suspension parts are nice and readily available. They look so sick. Cons. Body parts are
pretty hard to find.
I think I would be too scared to wreck it.
Yeah. I
think I would love it too much.
Yep.
I'm starting to think that this shouldn't be ranked higher than the BRZ.
It's possible that we misranked the BRZ.
I think maybe we misranked the BRZ. We might be apologizing it for the rest of the video.
But look how sick this looks.
I know, but it is so sick. Next drift car. Have you ever wanted a 4-door, turbocharged, manual, 4-door Toyota Supra? Well, enter the JZX90 and JZX100. These cars form the backbone of drifting in Japan. They're basically built for drifting because you get a 1JZ GTE and a 5-speed manual R154 gearbox from the factory. Biggest difference between the 90 and the 100 is that the 100 got an upgraded 1JZ VVTi, but both make excellent and durable drift cars with only minor setbacks. We never got them here, so they are all right-hand drive, and you're gonna be importing one or buying an imported one, so keep that in mind. And you're gonna be paying between $20,000 for a 90, north of $30,000 for a 100, but these things can look so freaking sick.
Yes, they can.
3 pros.
The 1J makes a lot of power and a lot of mid-range, so it's awesome for drifting. They drive real well from a drifting standpoint. They feel good to drift. They look sick.
My character's car in the movie is a JZX90.
Yep. They've got some mechanical issues that people need to address. They're pretty expensive to buy. They're pretty expensive to upkeep. The plus side of that is that it's not strictly a beginner car. Any JZX really can be a very serious car to drift. So you can start with it and then you can upgrade it over time, and you don't have to like swap cars when you outgrow it, because you're not going to outgrow it necessarily.
Yeah. If you're playing the long game, it's like owning a house.
It's the size of a house as well. So here on the left we have Daigo Saito's 90. He's usually a JZX 100 guy, but this is one from way back in the day when he started competing.
And then the one on the right,
it's Daigo's 100 Mark II, doing the famous jump drift at Minami Course.
That's so sick. Yeah. Now that I'm looking at these, I'm starting to think that maybe a JZX is the one for me.
So JZXs, in my opinion, are kind of at the upper limit of what can be considered a beginner car. They're pretty expensive. They sometimes need a little bit of love mechanically to work perfect, and they're imported.
So what's it take to get a JZX ready drifting?
Essentially nothing. Put a diff in it and like a seat and coilovers.
You've mentioned seat for every single one of these cars.
It's the most important thing.
That is the most important mod.
From a performance standpoint, yeah. You can't really learn too well if you're moving around, especially when you're going to clutch kick and your foot's like trying to hit the pedal, but you're physically moving left to right. You don't want that. I mean, the seat is obviously the most important piece of recreational technology that you can put in a car.
Recreational technology. Put it on GARM.
And we did. A lot of you guys ask, hey, what is speed? Is it cars? Is it bikes? Is it clothes? Cameras? The answer is yes. Speed is everything fun and the stuff you use to do it, i.e., recreational technologies. And to kick it off, we're launching a special Recreational Technologies t-shirt, available now on recreationaltechnologies.com, the slick new website that we just built in literally 12 minutes using GoDaddy Aero. GoDaddy Aero is an all-in-one AI-powered tool that helps you launch and grow your business online in minutes. Take it from me. We literally did this thing in minutes. You just answer a few questions. It builds you a first draft website, including domain name, logo. It'll even make social posts for you and a whole bunch of other stuff. The AI tools make customizing the site super easy and way less intimidating than starting from a blank page. You ever just like stared at a blank page, just wondering when your brain is gonna kick in and you're gonna come up with an idea? Well, those days are over, my friend, because we got GoDaddy Aero now. We spun this site up in literal minutes and she's pretty solid. If you have an idea for a site, you want to sell your stuff, post your music, or just seem more professional, put your resume or reel on a website. And to do that, try out GoDaddy Aero. You can just click the link below, or you can scan this QR code. I don't know where SR is going to put it. Speaking of starting stuff that you have no business doing and aren't good at, back to drift cars.
All right, next drift car. Somebody must have seen all the LS swapped S13s, E46s, and RX-7s and thought, what if we built an entire car around that engine? And that's how the Corvette was invented. In a lot of ways, it's an incredibly ideal drift car.
These things are obviously really serious sports cars, right? They work really good right out of the box.
They're all fiberglass, dude.
Yeah.
All generations have stout, powerful Chevy small blocks, a nearly unbreakable rear-mounted transmission, easily adjustable suspension from the factory, and there are plenty of driftable Vette generations from later C4s, every C5, every C6, even newer C7s, and you can buy parts at AutoZone.
That's true.
Biggest barrier to entry with these is they are pretty expensive. Like a C5 is going to cost for a beat one around $15,000. Like a C6 Z06 is still upwards of like $35K. But once you have one, it doesn't take a lot to make them drive well, although it is hard to make them look well. I don't want to get yelled at. I don't think they're very cool.
I think these are cool.
These are very cool.
The ones that we're looking at, they're cool. And
they
like
are
one
cool.
of it, like,
these are very cool.
it's like you put cool wheels on it. You have
you
good
hammer
fitment.
it to the ground.
Yeah, that one is Danny's from 945 Garage. That thing is super cool. He's got like a cool lip on it. He's made some arrow headlights. He's got a GT wing. It's got crons on it. It's fun. As more people drift Corvettes over time, people are going to develop cool aero for them. They're going to make them look more interesting. If you've got a little bit of money and you're willing to be a pioneer, you should go ahead and get a Corvette, because from a mechanical standpoint, it's not going to let you down.
One thing I do like about them is that they're made in Kentucky.
Oh, yeah. So speaking of American cars, we have an honorable mention for you guys. That is not the Corvette. It is the Mustang.
So you guys might be surprised that the Ford Mustang didn't make the official top 10 list, considering the fact that it has been so successful in professional drifting. Why is that?
Yeah. So, I mean, the pro cars are fully custom cars, right? So we're talking about beginner grade cars. There's even fewer people drifting these things. So there's just not much of an aftermarket for drifting specifically for the Mustang.
Theoretically, this could be a very good, cool drift car.
It should be good. And there's definitely a way to build a stylish Mustang.
This next car might be a little controversial. There is the old saying, Miata is always the answer, and drifting is no exception. They drift extremely well. They are lightweight, and if you keep the tires modest, the transmission and diff are plenty strong. These things were like meant to have fun in. This is just another way to have fun in them, and a ton of guys drift Miatas.
They're incredibly good suspension layouts. In my opinion, especially for a beginner car, the engine's got more than enough power to start driving, and they're really reliable. They're really reliable. People beat on these things for years, and they don't have issues with them.
And they look really funny. Well, I'm saying like funny in a good way, in a cute, funny way. Like seeing, like especially there was that entire team of Miatas at Final Bout.
Yeah.
Like look how like plucky, I guess is the right word. Look at those little guys, like little minions just going to war.
If you look at this team, like to me, these are some of the best looking cars in drifting in the US, just from like a pure style standpoint in any category.
How would you say style ranks in like the importance of a drift car?
For me, it's number one.
Really?
Yeah, it's number one. Because
over more than like power and like
yeah, of
handling.
course. Because here's the thing: like, why do we drift, right? Like, let's figure that out. Why do we drift? We drift because it looks cool, right? Like, because drifting looks sick, and so like, if the act of drifting looks sick, then shouldn't the car look sick too?
Yeah. I mean, talking to you guys about getting one of these cars, and the only conversation we've been having is what body kit I'm gonna get.
Yeah,
it is like pretty fun.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm like 13.
Yeah. I mean, that's the whole
kind of
point.
amazing. What wing are you going to get?
Yeah.
What body kit are you going to get? There's a ton of reasons that you would want to drift a Miata. What are some things that you might want to look out for?
Yeah, so if you want to start upgrading the car for more power, it can be a little tough to put good drivetrain in it. I guess one of the biggest cons really is that it's just a small car.
Also, we're big guys.
We're huge.
Little car, big guys.
How tall are you? Like 7'6"?
Well, you're 7'4".
Yeah,
You're
I'm
7'5".
7'4".
Yeah, I'm 7'6".
Yeah.
This next one is going to have everyone screaming about reliability in a bad way. But according to Ilya, they're actually excellent starter drift cars. We are talking about the Mazda RX-8.
All right. Let me make my case.
He drove one here today.
I did drive one here
parked
today.
in the driveway.
It's
right now.
Mazda speed. It's so sick. So here's the deal with the RX. RX-8s are super freaking cheap. Parts are everywhere, and most of the repair parts are $100 increments. You can drift them stock. They have 2 oil coolers from the factory. They have an LSD. They have a manual trans. They make like 200 horsepower or whatever.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Really?
You want to ride mine later?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're
Of course.
sick.
So why don't people like them?
Because they're scared of rotary. And because this is not a turbo rotary. To every one of you guys that is worried about the rotary engine, you're partially right.
Yeah. But that's how you know you can believe him.
Mazda had to do a couple of things to make the RX-8 engine work, and it doesn't last quite as long. You're looking at like maybe 120,000 miles between service intervals.
But like a service interval is like complete rebuild.
Yeah, you're overhauling it.
Okay.
Yeah, you're taking the engine out, you're rebuilding it. But between 0 and 120K, it's going to run really sick. No matter if you drift it, road race it, whatever, they're super reliable.
So this thing's about 200 horsepower, similar to a BRZ.
Yeah.
Is this the move?
I mean, it's going to be my next drift car for sure.
Yeah.
I hope this video doesn't change anyone's mind too much because we don't want to drive the prices up.
We should just go get one today.
There's one at his house.
Should we just go get it?
It's white. It runs sick. It's sick. He
How
bought it
much
for
is
like
it?
$1,000 or something. Like it was like $1 or $2 grand.
Let's go get it.
It's up there.
Should we just go buy a fucking RX-8? Zach's pissed. Zach's like, I hope he doesn't do this. This car is similar for Zach and Jesse as like we're all roommates and I'm getting a dog. You know? And they're like listening to us talk about what kind of dog I'm going to get. We're talking about Miata and I'm like, oh, I don't know, maybe that Chihuahua is pretty cool. And they're like, okay, cool. I don't really like Chihuahuas, but that's a pretty cool dog and it won't really affect us. Like RX-8. And some of these are like, yeah, okay, I might get a Great Dane. Oh, maybe I'll get a Beethoven. Maybe I'll get a big old Beethoven. Oh, Jesse's worried I'm going to get a Beethoven.
I think the 8 is more of like a rabies or not rabies thing.
Okay.
I think it's like a rabies kind of thing.
Yeah, is this dog going to...
You know, but it runs real fast.
Yeah, it's guys, look how fast this dog is, and it's so cheap. I'm honestly scared because I think I like this. I want to drive yours.
Wait till I give you a ride. One.
Yeah, I am very curious to see how sick they can look because, like we said, styling is very important.
Well, have I got some cars in store
those
for
are
you?
Cool.
Yeah, so this first one is the JIC RX-8.
I like how sharp the front is.
It's by Vertex. The arrow is by Vertex.
We like Vertex.
And then a Handspeed RX-8.
Very
Cool.
cool. RX-8 Pros. Cheap.
Cheap. Very cheap. They have a really good suspension layout and they're long wheelbase, so they drive really well. They can drift right out of the box, so you don't have to really modify it at all, except for like seat and steering wheel to drift the car. And they can look sick. That's another pro. They're easy to style.
All right. Cons.
You got to rebuild the engine every 120K or so. The coil packs suck, and you have to service the coil packs on a regular basis.
This one's kind of cool because it is the cheapest.
Oh, and it's got 4 doors, and it's got AC, and it's got a 6 stereo. It's a real car, just like a BRZ.
Yeah, I like the AC aspect, and I also like that it's so cheap. I think that's pretty funny. And of course, we can't talk about the RX-8 without talking about the RX-7. Your drift car is an FD RX-7.
It is.
You've had it forever.
10 years. It's been hands down the most reliable car I've ever had, by far, by like a huge margin. But the thing about FDs, and to a lesser extent FCs, is they're just no longer starter cars. Getting into an FD is at least 30 grand, if not more. And the one downside of the FD from a drifting standpoint is that the trans doesn't really hold up. They blow up their transes when you drift them like pretty regularly. And so I CDO9 swapped mine to get rid of that problem. But like to do the 350Z transmission swap is like an $8,000 thing, right? So this is just like not a beginner car.
So we're going to give the FD and FC RX-7s honorable mention because you got to mention them, and it's an honor. Up next is a car that we all know and love. I'm talking about the E36 and E46 BMW. Both generations are a really good starting point. Really durable engines, really good transmissions. They shift really well. Very durable diffs. And as long as you reinforce the rear subframe on both gens, you can start drifting pretty easily. Post 2002 cars are especially desirable because you can get the 330i, which came with a 3-liter inline M54 engine that made 220 horsepower. E46 M3s are kind of like priced out of that.
But the good news is the non-Ms are pretty cheap.
Yeah, pretty cheap and pretty plentiful. Ilya doesn't like them.
Well, I think they're all right. Yeah, look, mechanically, these things are good, right? Aside from the fact that the cooling system's made of plastic,
Literally.
which was a strange move. The one thing that's kind of funky about BMW in that era is that the steering racks on some of the cars were a little slow. And so a lot of people like to get Z3 racks for these cars.
We have a Z3 rack in my E30.
There you go.
Yeah.
As you know, that means you have to source a Z3 rack. There weren't that many Z3s made.
No, and even fewer of them that are willing to give up their rack.
Right. An E30 that's 4 turns lock to lock or whatever it is. You can't really drift it without doing this. And even some of the E36 and E46 stuff, I know a lot of people say it's like almost a must-have. So that's the one little caveat to making this a beginner car is you might have to steering rack swap the thing like right off the jump.
Both you and Vin have said that these are hard to style. These ones are pretty cool.
We have some friends that have made very cool BMW drift cars. But what you'll notice about these cars is every detail has been touched. That's true of a lot of these examples, right? Like a lot of the cars that I'm giving you are kind of like the full tune version of the car. But I think with the E36 and E46, they just don't look like much of a drift car when they're stocked.
E36 Pros.
Very mechanically robust.
There's a ton of them.
There's a ton of them.
Pretty cheap.
Yeah, they're pretty cheap.
Parts availability
Good.
to the moon.
Really good.
Cons, steering rack.
Steering rack is, I would say, maybe the biggest con.
Not the most exciting looking drift car.
Yeah, and the potential for having to reinforce the subframe.
Yeah, mostly an E46 problem. But I like them. Up next might be the definitive drift car. I am talking, of course, about the Nissan S chassis, known better as the Silvia 240SX or 180SX. When people talk about the drift tax, they're talking about this car. This was my first car ever that I ever owned.
How much was it when you bought it?
I bought it in 2001 when it was less than 10 years old. I paid $3,000 for it.
That sounds very reasonable. How much do you think that car would cost now?
I'd say upwards of $25,000 in similar condition.
That's right.
There are 3 relevant generations of S chassis, the S13, the S14, and the S15. Only the S13 and S14 made it to the US, while the S15s have to be imported, which they just became legal to do this year. There's a ton of parts for these everywhere. Huge aftermarket support. They do take a fair amount of work to make them into a powerful drift car. Stock KA car works as like a beginner car, and they hold up pretty well. They're just expensive because they're getting rare. An S13 is going to cost definitely over $10,000. S14 is going to be like $15,000 or more. But again, it's like the drift guy car.
It's the drift car.
Yeah.
The KAs are pretty good. They're a great motor to learn on. A lot of my friends learned on KAs and
just an NA stock KA.
Yeah, totally. Again, like low power will make you a good driver for sure because you have to learn how to actually drive the car. And when you do grow out of the KA or when you outgrow that power level, you can definitely boost them. So you can start with this thing making low power, and then if you grow into it, you can just boost the motor you have. You don't actually have to take it out.
Maybe I'm considering that now.
And here's some notable examples. We've got S13 Coupe and 180SX or S13 Hatchback.
Yeah. Dude, they all look so sick.
And we have to mention, of course, the Koki 180SX. For those of you that don't know, you have to have a 3-finger gap on the headlight and a 2-finger gap on the rear wheel for the ride height of the car.
Those are the rules.
Those are the rules, as defined by Itai himself.
One thing that I find very enjoyable about talking to you guys is like there is a lot of lore, and beyond just like building and driving cars, it feels new in America, but it's also like the old thing. You know what I mean?
This is kind of like why we did Final Bout in the first place. We grew up watching Option and Drift Tengoku. The origin of drifting for us was watching these incredibly cool cars, like these beautiful sort of like masterpieces of drift cars. That's what we're here to remind you of. This is what it looks like. This is the lore.
It's really similar to like anime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also we're here to promote the watching of Option videos. Just
Yeah.
watch Option. Watch every Option. You'll be fine.
S chassis pros.
Great to drive. Tons of parts. Like tons of parts. If you want exterior parts, mechanical parts, as many parts as you could ever want. Very reliable. They're really robust. And they're easy to work on.
There's a reason that these are the drift car. Cons.
They're expensive now.
Yeah.
That's the biggest con. The parts are getting rarer as people keep crashing the cars and consuming the spare parts. Once you start to upgrade the car, you also have to upgrade the transmission, the axles, stuff like that. Not many cons, really. They're pretty awesome. There's a reason they're high up on the list.
And then S13s are kind of old now.
Yes, yeah. S13s are old. S14s are old. Really, it's only S15s that are like new enough to be fresh. The problem with S15s is they were imported, right? So that means that the parts are harder to get. You're going to have to import stuff to fix the car when it comes to exterior and body parts.
Yeah, and then you get into the shipping a big piece of glass across the Pacific. All right, we got 2 more cars left. We are almost to the end. Do you want a 4-door?
Manual.
Cheaper
Toyota Supra?
Well, guess what, guys? You are in luck because there's a little car called the IS300. Stock NA 2JZ is a tank. The standard W55 5-speed manual holds up to stock power really well, and the diffs are pretty stout.
As an NA car, the IS300 is super durable.
And then a lot of them came with LSDs from the factory.
And manual.
They can be had for between $5,000 and $10,000, but prices are going up. So act now.
They used to be a lot cheaper. They're definitely going up in price, and they're starting to get a little rarer, which is why they're not in first place. They are an incredible starter car. They drift great. They're super good to learn on.
They look awesome.
They look good, and you don't have to work on it much because they're just that reliable.
Yeah, it's a Toyota straight 6.
Yeah, it's not going to get much better.
How's parts availability for these guys?
Good. Good. Like they're US cars. They shipped a ton of these. You can definitely get them. On the left, the HKS Genki car. So sick. On the right, another HKS demo car. If you ask me what the coolest tuner car of all time is, it's the TRB01 by HKS, bar none.
Yeah, I had the full length like fold out poster from
Super Street.
Yeah. And almost every dude I bring it up to is like, yeah, from Super Street.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that poster. Gotta say, guys, IS300 seems like a pretty good thing. If we're talking about the IS300, we have to mention the SC300, which I think is one of the most slept on, absolutely disrespected options in the world today. But it's one of these cars similar to the RX-8 that for some reason people are like, yeah, those aren't that cool. And because of that, they are so cheap.
Yeah. The downside of an SC is that it is a little heavy, especially compared to an IS, but you can totally drift them with an NA2J. A bunch of my friends do. Our friend Julius drifts one with an automatic trans.
That's pretty cool.
For a beginner car, even if you get an auto one, you can still learn to drive on it.
So IS300 pros.
Very reliable.
Love that.
Cool styling options. Really good chassis feel for drifting.
Parts availability is good.
Good parts availability, and did I mention reliable?
Yeah.
It's reliable.
Cons.
It's getting expensive.
Yeah.
Get one while you still can, if you're going to get one. It doesn't have a lot of cons. There's a reason why it's one of the better cars on the list, right? It's just like, it's pretty awesome for a beginner drift car.
Guys, we have reached the final car on our list, and it might be the definitive banger, beginner, smart, and fun drift car. We are talking about the Nissan 350Z. It's got everything you need. It can be stylish. It's durable. It's affordable. It's got a reasonable amount of power. It's got great suspension layout. It's got a lot of aftermarket support. They also have like a lot of the parts that end up going on other drift cars on this list.
The diffs are good. The axles are good. Like the entire drivetrain is the upgrade drivetrain for the whole rest of the drift world.
Yeah. They made a ton of them. They made them for a lot of years. And so you can find them for under $10,000 all day long. All Zs of this generation are pretty good, but if you really want the cream of the crop one, try and get one that was made between 2007 and 2009. Because it makes pretty decent power, you don't really have to do anything to the drivetrain to start drifting or like for a while you're learning to drift.
So a lot of this too is like timing the market, right?
Yeah.
Like the thing about the Z right now is that it's not particularly expensive. It's kind of, I think, probably at the bottom of its price curve, and then it's going to start going up in the near future. Right now, the Z is probably about as cheap as it's going to get.
Yeah, like I want a ton of other cars on this list. That's why they're on this list. But every time we talk about it, we always come back to the Z33. It just like makes the most sense. It's going to have AC probably.
Yep.
And you can drive it to the track. It's reliable. You don't have to do a lot to it. It's cheap to maintain. It's cheap to fix. It's cheap to buy. There's tons of parts. You do have to be kind of careful styling it.
I was just going to get to that.
Might have a harder time finding one that's not like totally modified in a very, very weird way. There's a lot of people who have owned and modified 350Zs that not a lot of people want to associate with.
Don't ruin your Z, guys. Don't take the fenders off of it. Like, leave it how it is. Don't straight pipe it. Don't straight pipe your Z either.
Let's talk about the styling. These things get a lot of flack. I think they look pretty freaking sick. Yeah, like that.
This is the first example. Yeah, like, look at this thing, guys.
Sick. Also shopped. That's not that guy's real hair color.
I just want to explain that these photos have been in my collection for over a decade.
Yeah, I'm glad they're finally seeing the latest.
Yeah, and I've never shown these to anyone. And I just think this dude is so sick.
Yeah, this dude rules.
So the one on the right is a really good driver that comes to US Air in the Midwest all the time. He's got Ings Aero. It's got a really cool body color GT wing.
A lot of the aftermarket front bumpers for these cars make them look like longer and sharper, which I am a fan of. As a guy who's built a lot of European cars and really focused on subtlety, modifications that I have to point out to other people so that they know that I did them, I want to make something with a huge wing, a really sharp front end, and like a bunch of stickers on the side of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's fun about drift cars, right? Is you get to like actually let your hair down a little bit. You don't have to make the most conservative car at, what is it called? Waterfest H2O Con.
Yeah. We don't have to on the other kind of cars that I like, okay? I'm not like totally abandoning my crew, okay? I'm just like trying to bridge the gap and enjoy some other stuff.
VW, huh?
Yeah. You know, you and all your dumbass friends. Now you got cool friends. Those guys suck. I think people do kind of crap on Z33s a little bit, but I think it's like you said. I think they're at this like weird dip where they're not cool again yet, and it's sort of like baggy pants. Like baggy pants forever weren't cool,
and now they're back.
Yeah, now baggy pants are back.
Baggy pants are back.
So we're calling it. Well, it's the same. It just makes too much sense to not be
much like a baggy pant.
Yeah, much like a baggy pant. Why are we wearing such tight pants?
Freedom of movement.
Yeah, that's why millennials aren't having kids.
Wear looser pants, get a Z, learn to drift. It's easy.
Drift. Yeah.
It's easy.
All right, so someone buys a Z today. What do they do to go drifting?
Not a ton. Seat, steering wheel, coilovers. You can get a diff and weld it, or you can drift the factory diff, really. And then it's just a matter of styling it properly, which I think for a Z starts with good wheels and good fitment.
If you get a Z, you are now accepting the responsibility to convince the rest of the world that this is not a boy car. So pros.
Very reliable. Drive great. Tons of parts availability. It's not just a reliability thing. Like the drivetrain is infinitely stout.
Cons.
Hard to style.
Hard to style.
Hard to make sound good.
Kind of a bad reputation.
Yeah.
A little bit. Really hard to upgrade power when it gets to that point.
Yes. Yeah. When you run out of engine, it's pretty hard to upgrade power. You're either doing a twin turbo kit, which is pretty intense.
Don't do it.
Or you're doing like an LS swap, which is pretty intense.
Don't do it.
Or you're doing an SR swap, which is really
sick.
Cool.
Yeah.
But pretty difficult.
Pretty difficult.
Maybe nitrous. You could maybe do nitrous on the factory engine. I don't know. Don't listen to me.
Yeah.
This is just a thought.
Yeah, and I think that is a perfect place to end this advice video. Maybe nitrous. I don't know. Ilya, dude, thanks so much for coming by. We are buying a drift car. What I wanted has changed 9 times in this video. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think we should get. Let us know if you go for the smart option because it's smart, or if you're more attracted to the dumb, cool option. Go to speed.co, get yourself some merch. Follow Ilya. Check out at Final Belt on Instagram, at James Pumphrey on Instagram. I love you.